How do you lift weights, run, or in my case, box at the same time? This is where hybrid training comes in, where you blend weight training with some form of cardio to help improve your work capacity, helping you look good, but also perform great. But there's a problem. How do you actually balance weightlifting with running or whatever type of cardio you like to do and make sure that you're not overtraining, your recovery is on point? And then of course, how do we fit this into your busy lifestyle so that you can stay consistent enough to see the results that you want? That's why in this video, I'm going to take you through my hybrid training split and show you the 3 key principles you need to follow so by the end of this video, you know how to build a lean athletic body that not only looks good, but performs good too. Now I have to admit, I'm not a fan of the term hybrid training or hybrid athlete. It's very popular online, but the reality is you're not doing anything new because these principles that I'm about to show you have been around way before social media made it feel like you were doing something special. Now with that out of the way, we can get to the first principle. Principle 1, foundation first. I have a foundation of muscle and strength, but whilst I was building this up, as much as I wanted to box 4 or 5 times a week, I couldn't because this would compromise my foundation that I was trying to build. What is that foundation that you need to first get? Number 1, strength in all movements: push, pull, hinge, squat, carry. Okay, you need to perfect them, you need to get proficient in them first, otherwise you risk getting injured. Second, get some muscle on you. That's going to protect your joints, that's going to make you strong enough to withstand the loads on your knees, etc. Or if you're boxing like me, you'll have stronger wrists, stronger cartilage, ligaments. 3, be relatively lean. Now you don't have to be Instagram lean, but the more luggage you're carrying around, whether it's running or boxing, it's just added weight and it's unnecessary. It's going to slow you down, it's going to impair your performance. You're going to have a much better foundation by being relatively lean. And 4, make sure you've done this for around a year so that you're efficient and you've got that good foundation in place. So you can have it both, just not all at once because of this illustration. So here's your energy, and your energy is finite throughout the week, throughout the day. You've got a certain amount of volume that you can recover from. And as we expend our energy into, in my case, let's say boxing, okay, we have to pull back on physique improvement, building muscle, or running, okay? You can't do it all at once, guys, because if we've got a finite amount of energy, it's going to have to be spread evenly across these 3 endeavors, and you're not really going to get those significant results that you need to get. So what we want to do, let's dial back the running, let's get our foundation in, which is our physique, the muscle, getting lean. Let's pull back the boxing for a little bit, and that reduces our need for recovery so that we can push this pursuit further to get to significant results. And then the beauty is, once you've got these results, it's much easier to maintain. Then you can pull back on this, and then if you want to start to excel in boxing at a quicker rate, to then move it across to significant results, you can do that because it's about managing your recovery and having that foundation in place, which is going to make this process so much easier. So guys, you can do it all, just not all at once. For most of you, you'd be better off allocating your energy into building muscle strength and losing fat, which is this, because this is a stronger foundation for injury prevention with running, combat sports, or other sports like tennis or maybe paddle. Now you can indeed do both, but you need to be strategic with your energy and your recovery as to not impart the results. And so that moves us on to principle 2, smart programming. The first rule of this is you want to revolve, not detract. So what that means is take your training program and your sport or activity, whether it's in my case boxing or running, should revolve around it, not detract from it. So we have our weight training split. This never wants to really shift. So our running can fit around this, our sports can, but you never want the weightlifting to fit around the running. If your goal is to look good and still feel good, let me tell you, the people that have great physiques and then do running, they didn't build that physique through running or hybrid training. They got that foundation in fast from principle 1, and then they were smart about their programming to help maintain or even still slowly progress in the weights room. So this means that we don't want to hinder our ability to recover from these workouts and progress 100% in these workouts. You never want these to conflate too much. Otherwise, like we said, we've got a finite amount of energy to recover. So we need to be strategic and smart with our programming so that it doesn't impair our ability to recover from these weight training sessions. Because if you're training hard enough, which you should be, not training a lot, 3 or 4 times a week is plenty, you will need all the recovery you can get, especially when you throw in a bit of boxing or running into the equation. And that leads us on to principle 3, follow the rules. And what are the rules? Number 1, it can't interfere with your strength or recovery. You never want these workouts to overlap or conflate with each other in terms of your ability to recover. I'll get into the moment what that looks like and give you an example. But number 2, start off small. So just 1 to 2 sessions of your chosen sport or activity is plenty. In my case, I started off with just twice a week boxing, pretty light sessions, whilst my body acclimatized to that stimuli. And then number 3, you want to actually consume an extra amount of calories on the day of your sport or activity, because we don't want to use running or boxing as a tool to get leaner. Your diet and your steps, those variables are much more easily managed and don't affect your appetite that much. You'll find if you start running 2-3 times a week, it becomes very difficult to regulate your appetite. And if you're in a fat loss phase, that you just end up binging, overeating, and it's just a mess. So we actually want to fuel those sessions for performance. So let's give you an example of this. Let's take a 4-day split, a typical push-pull legs rest with some arms. Weekends we rest. Now let's combine our sport and activity. So just weight training, these are the same, push-pull legs rest, etc. Now let's add the running. So on the Monday, instead of doing a push, we're going to combine our push and pull. Remember, because we've got a finite amount of energy and ability to recover. So we compress these workouts into one. And on Tuesday, we have a zone 2 run. Okay, zone 2 is just keeping your heart rate at 150 BPM. Very easy to recover from, because the next day we've got legs, right? And even that's going to be quite difficult to recover from. But if you're consistent for several weeks, your body will acclimatize. It shouldn't be too much stimuli. And then on the weekends, we've actually squeezed in that second run. If you see what we did here, we had to combine the push and pull session to make room for the run, because there are only so many days in the week. More specifically, there's only so many days that you can recover from. And you will notice that the harder run, the interval run, is before the rest day. So by this point, training consecutively, our nervous system, mentally and physically, we're going to be fried. So we want to have a good long rest day here, allowing our nervous system to fully recover before our Monday upper session. So that's one example of how you could combine the running with weightlifting without it inhibiting your ability to progress in both. Now let's run another example, but using me. I love boxing, but I can't do it more than 3 times a week. So Monday is pull, Tuesday is push, Wednesday is boxing light, or we do some sparring. That's not too strenuous on the body, unless you spar with some idiots. Thursday is arms and shoulders, and Friday is a morning heavy boxing session, which is quite brutal. And then I finish off with abs and legs. Now, you might be like, Alex, why have you combined a heavy boxing session in the morning with legs in the evening? That's brutal. Well, that's because legs, for me, for my body, I don't need them to be any bigger. I don't like bulky legs. I like to build a lean, athletic, functional physique, and having bulky legs just slows me down and is not something I think looks very aesthetic. So training legs just once a week and more primarily focusing on my abs is something that's going to get me the result that I want. For you, it could be different. And then on Sunday, we do some boxing light because we have a pull session the next day. So you'll notice as boxing is very intense on the shoulder joints, my push session is several days out from my boxing session. So the push session never comes after the boxing because my joints, my rotator cuffs are going to be quite vulnerable and still recovering. So that's how we do smart programming with those rules in place. Now look, if you want your own training split that you can balance, whether it's running or boxing alongside weightlifting in the pursuit of a lean athletic body, you can check out the link in the description below where we have that and more. So that is hybrid training in a nutshell. I've shown you 3 key principles there, and if you actually want 16 key principles for building a lean athletic body, you can watch this video here.